This is the Salutation Garden on the Kent coast. It may look spectacular now, but just 3 years ago, this idyllic space was almost wiped out by a tidal surge down the English Channel.
We had about 12 hours notice, so very little time to protect anything other than the house. And only the next day could we count the cost.
When the tide retreated, the whole site was left with seawater damage in the garden, but it wasn't over yet.
The flood was followed by the wettest winter that we had recorded.
There was irreparable damage.
It uprooted trees, it relocated herbaceous plants, it pulled out probably hundreds of tons of soil. It's incredible that water is far more powerful than I think anyone ever gives it credit for.
Around 15,000 plants were destroyed.
It took months for it to properly sink in, the emotional loss from the plants. I think when you've faced a garden that's been devastated, it's important not to rush too quickly, actually, into making mistakes.
Steve and his team took stock of what had happened and tried to look at it positively.
There were lots of bits of the garden, actually, that we were living with because I could rely on those bits to perform every year. All of a sudden, we're faced with, not a blank canvas, but half of the planting missing from the main borders. It was an opportunity to reinvent and to build on old ideas.
But when they started to replant, the saltwater had done more than just uproot the garden.
The entire ecology of the soil is upset, and that's the place to start. Lots of hours digging, incorporating lots of bulky organic material, manure. That was the key to begin with for us.
And after lots of hard work and perseverance, Steve and his team continued to rebuild the grounds, making it the charming garden it is today. In Gloria and Stan's garden, the retaining wall that collapsed 2 years ago has been rebuilt. So whilst Adam works on her new planters, the couple have asked Charlie to give them some advice on what to do with it.
My goodness, that's a wall and a half, isn't it? But this must be a fabulous sun trap.
Yeah, it does catch the sun.
Gloria and Stan's plot is on a giant slope, and on one side, the new wall is more than 10 foot high.
This will be a nice warm wall.
Yeah.
And very, very protected. So things like Mediterranean plants, like grapevines, kiwi fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, it would also be a really great spot for a little propagator. Like a little lean-to greenhouse.
Yeah.
And it would be a great place to sit.
I think that sounds excellent.
So we're going to need, Charlie, for you to come back next year and get all this sorted.